Everybody works different, but you learn how to adjust to their abilities.
Friendship, honesty, being polite.
Because if you don't work as a team, your team's going to fall apart.
Do you think you're a good artist?
Yes.
This year has been particularly interesting. Festival Day, of course, is one of our amazing event days every year where we have over 2,200 people come to Lincoln campus for this beautiful day of art and music and dance. One of the other things that we were able to do this year is bring in the artist Mark Parsons from New York City to work with a class at Elder Middle School.
You can work directly with the clay and roll. This one I rolled across the clay like this, and it made a pattern.
Being in a middle school, art is one of the classes for general ed students. My students can't go to any of those art classes. We do art through very special arts.
These are 6 of the most amazing students you will ever see. They are between the ages of 12 and 17. They have severe multiple impairments. 4 of them are in wheelchairs. And they have some pretty significant cognitive disabilities, but they got to shine. They were like the stars of the school, the stars of this program for an entire week.
And while it's liquid, it's going to capture all the details of all the work you guys have been doing.
Plaster was actually poured in clay and ended up getting wax reliefs of those sculptures.
You want to see what it ended up looking like? You want to see your piece? I'm going to bring it over. That's the piece you did yesterday.
You could see their faces lighting up when they would use a tool that they never had used before and created their patterns in the clay, and when they were seeing what was happening and what they were creating. It really gave them ownership and allowed them to express themselves.
I think the arts really enhance the boys and girls' lives.
This is fun.
It is fun for me too.
We've also had some really amazing opportunities with Opera Grand Rapids and to bring in the children's opera Monkey See, Monkey Do to the kids at Lincoln School.
We will all be very happy. I will take him as my son.
These are kids that often have difficulties leaving campus. They can't really get out into the community and participate in those normal activities that other kids participate in. You could see the kids' faces lighting up when they saw the monkeys come on stage and when the monkeys were singing the song and when they were able to participate in singing the song. It really brought them into the theater experience and let them participate both as audience members and as part of the overall show.
Well, you're going to say these lines, right? And you're going to be these characters. You tell Becky, and you decide what would make sense. Who should be the thief and who should be the policeman. Cool! Okay?
One of the things that we work with and where the arts can really come in is how do you express yourself? How can you really show who you are and what you have to offer? And the arts really provide that opportunity.
Switch.
Wrist watches.
Wrist watches.
All right, yeah, you got the acting in there too.
Well, we're doing a theater workshop, and that's can go in many different directions. We had a meeting a long time ago. I had a meeting with VSA, and I was curious about how I was going to do the things that I'm used to doing with kids that don't have these disabilities, because I'd never worked with a blind student before. I'd never worked with a student who was tied to a wheelchair before, and they were kind of smiling and laughing because they knew it would work.
Use that voice from the very beginning.
We decided we would make it a lot about teamwork, a lot about mobility, so that we can get more precise movements for the kids, and then also to deal with the idea of using the voice in more specific ways.
Which wrist watches? Very good.
You get to do more things, like it's not so much sitting. Like I like to move around and do stuff. Whereas in coloring and drawing art, you just sit. And the only thing that moves is your hands. You know, I like to move the rest of me, you know?
Rika, when Mark first came, he asked me to give a little brief
synopsis of each student. And I said Rika would probably be
pretty much a follower.
Very withdrawn.
She'll do whatever another student that she was close to at the time does.
And not be very active and cooperative.
Unique New York.
Unique New York!
All right.
And that just hasn't come to pass at all.
Well, Rika is just utterly surprised as she's come out of her shell, and she's one of the leading comics in the theater drama part.
Nothing. Nothing! I said nothing. Sorry, I asked. It's alright.
You get to do all kinds of movements and singing, dancing. Just everyone's so nice and fun.
And then Brian, who's in a wheelchair, you know, and who probably, my guess is a lot of the times is forgotten about because he's quiet and because he's there in the chair and doesn't have as much mobility. I mean, he became our director today. He was calling out action. He was telling them, start again, you can do better.
Okay, let's do it again.
And I just thought that's great, you know, so that surprise, I guess it's the students that surprised me because I didn't have those kinds of expectations in the beginning that are the ones that stick in my mind.
I think it's a great class because it shows us how to use our body, how to relax, and it's just great.
The thing that ties them together is this willingness to try almost anything, you know, that we do. And so for me, it makes it a lot easier. I've hardly had to change a thing, and I'm able to do all these different theater activities with the student body.
Oh, sorry I asked.
That's alright.
It's given them self-confidence. It's given them the ability to work together. It's given them the ability to try things that they were maybe a little afraid of.
It's why I keep doing what I do, is to be able to see those students just come alive.
They become teachers. It's just amazing what they come up with that none of us would have ever thought of.
The essence of VSA is to give these kids, these students, these adults, the self-confidence they need to try things, to find out what they're good at and continue to grow and expand on that. We know that everybody has skills and everybody has talents in the individual spirit, and it's just giving them the tools so that they can show that and succeed.
I'm nervous. Who's listening?
Just us.
Okay.
See? No reason to be nervous, huh?
I thought maybe George Bush was listening.